Welcome to Wholehearted, How to Stay Human in a Crazy World. I'm Gina Hendrickson, and each week we're going to explore simple, honest practices for living with courage, compassion, and clarity without losing ourselves along the way. If you're tired of the noise, the pressure, or the pretending, you're in the right place. Now, I don't know about you, but everything feels turned up right now. Louder, faster, more reactive. Opinions escalate quickly. Outrage spreads instantly. And somewhere along the way, being right started mattering more than being kind. And I tell you, it's exhausting. And if I'm honest, I feel it in myself sometimes. That quick internal reaction, that urge to respond immediately, and that little spike of adrenaline when something or someone offends me. So today, I want to offer one simple rule. Not 10, not a life overhaul, just one filter that can change everything. And here it is. Don't add harm. Don't add harm before you speak. Don't add harm before you post, before you fire off that text. Ask one quiet question. Will this add harm? Because in a reactive culture, restraint is radical. Now, I believe we have normalized harm in subtle ways. Not violence, not cruelty in obvious forms, but in sarcasm that cuts. A gossip that's disguised as concern. Sharing something because it spikes our adrenaline, even if it shrinks someone else's dignity. And talking about people instead of to them directly, personally. We tell ourselves, well, I'm just being honest. Or, oh, come on, I was just venting. And, they deserve it. But most harm, it does not announce itself. It slips in. It slips in through tone, through timing, through impulse. And now here's what I've learned. Most harm, it's not intentional. It's reactive. It's what happens when we don't pause, when we don't slow down enough to think and to let things rest. A wise spiritual teacher of mine, John Wesley, once summarized life with one simple rule. He said, do no harm. Not win every argument, not prove your point, just don't add harm. That may be one of the most countercultural practices available to us right now. Because, we live in a world that rewards sharpness. Right? Sharp comebacks, sharp takes, sharp divisions. But sharp things cut instantly in our clickbait culture. And most people you and I are going to meet today are already carrying wounds, struggles, and hurts that, you and I simply cannot see. Now, this blows me away. Research has shown that 1 in 5 adults experience some kind of anxiety disorder. 1 in 5. So the importance of this life rule, do no harm, well, it's huge, and it's desperately needed. So what does this look like in real life? Well, it might mean not gossiping at the lunch table, not speaking badly about your ex in front of your kids, not humiliating someone online to score all those likes. not forwarding the article that is designed to inflame, and not manipulating a situation to make yourself look better at someone else's expense. Sometimes it looks like saying, I need to cool down before I respond. Sometimes it might look like saying, I was wrong. And sometimes it looks like choosing silence. Silence, not as avoidance, but silence as maturity. Yeah. Not every thought deserves a microphone or a social media platform. Now, come on, I like that a lot. I'm going to say it again. Not every thought deserves a microphone or a social media platform. But this isn't just about behavior. It's about posture. I ask myself all the time, what is my first reaction when someone disagrees with me? Is it curiosity or is it instant combat mode? When someone thinks differently, votes differently, lives differently, do I reduce them to an opinion? Or can I remember they are a human being before they are a position? Doing no harm means refusing to dehumanize. It means resisting contempt. Because contempt doesn't just damage relationships. It damages the one carrying it. I've noticed something about myself over the years. When I'm depleted, when I am tired and just stretched so thin, that's when I've got that sharper edge in me. And I'm also so less patient and quicker to judge. Exhaustion, it doesn't just drain your energy. It drains your empathy. And that's when harm slips in. Not because we're terrible people, but because we're reactive ones. Which is why this practice, it is not about perfection. It's about awareness. And it's about living intentionally instead of impulsively. In this crazy world we're living in right now, I have come to learn that we cannot control the chaos around us. We can't. I have tried, it doesn't work. But we can refuse to contribute to it, right? Imagine if this became your quiet commitment. I will not add harm. I won't. I will not add harm to my family, to my workplace, to my school. I will not add harm to my friendships, to the online world. Peace rarely starts big. It starts with restraint. One less cutting comment, one less escalation, one less moment of unnecessary damage. That's how, we stay human. Now, each episode, I'm going to suggest a wholehearted practice to help us stay human. So for the next 7 days, I invite you to choose one space in your life, or your home, your work, school, social media, friendships, and commit to this. Do not speak negatively about someone who is not present. Right? I'm going to say it again. Do not speak negatively about someone who isn't present. No gossip, no subtle digs, no, hey, this is just between us. No venting that erodes someone else's dignity. And if you slip, when you slip, if you slip, notice it, then reset and begin again. And before you speak this week, before you click apply or hit send, ask, will this add harm? You and I, we don't have to fix the world this week. Just don't add harm. Staying human in a crazy world does not require brilliance. It requires attention and intention. A pause, a filter, a little restraint. And when enough of us practice that, something shifts. We create space. Space where disagreement, it doesn't destroy. Space where dignity remains intact. Space where we can literally breathe again. That's where wholehearted living begins. Thanks so much for being here today. I am so glad we are on this journey together. So until next time, stay human.